تحصيلي collection 2017. We are going to solve some questions, collected questions and translated by me for the تحصيلي one. The first one is the matrix. The result of adding the matrix 1, 0, negative 1 and negative 2 and the matrix 2 times 3, 2, 0 and negative 1. We can notice that I need to multiply the second matrix by 2, which is 6, 2 by 3, 2 by 2, 4, 2 multiplied negative 1 is negative 2, and 2 multiplied by 0 is 0. When I am adding 1 and 6, negative 1 and negative 2, 0 and 4, negative 2 and 0. So I'm adding each number with each corresponding value. So 1 and 6 is 7. Negative 1 and negative 2 is negative 3. 0 and 4 is 4. And negative 2 and 0 is negative 2. So the answer is 7, 4, negative 3, and 2, which is C. Second one. What is the measure of the interior angle of a 9-side regular polygon? I'm supposed to write here regular polygon. Regular polygon, it means all sides are equal or angles are equal. It's a little bit difficult to find the interior and count all the values, but it's easier to find the exterior angle. Exterior angle of any regular polygon is 360 divided by the number of sides. So the exterior is 40. In case of the exterior angle is 40, so the interior angle is 180 minus 40, which is 140. So the answer is A. You can use the rule which says that the measure of each angle of each interior angle is n minus 2 multiplied by 180 divided by the number of n. N is 9, so 7 multiplied 180 divided by 9, and you can calculate it without using calculator if you prefer. For the third one, in the given figure, which of the following is a factor and which is not? We can notice that this curve intersects the x-axis at 3 points, point negative 4, point negative 1, and the point 4. If you wanted to write down these as 3 factors, you are going to write it as x plus 4, because it's here negative, and x plus 1, because also here it's negative, and x minus 4. So the factors of this function are x plus 4, x plus 1, and x minus 4. But he is looking for not a factor, not a factor. So which one of these is not a factor? It's clearly for us that it's x minus 1, because the curve it not passes through the point 1. Number 4. What is the term in this expansion x plus 1 over 8 all to the power of 8 whose value is 56? It's clear for us here that no. It's clear for us here that if I have 8 terms, so this term in the middle, this is not 8. This is x plus 1 over x all to the power of 8. And when you expand the bracket to the power of 8, it will give you 9 terms. It will give you 9 terms. We can see that the first term is x power 8, and the last term is 1 over x to the power of 8. But the fifth term, x will be to the power of 4. Multiply 1 over x to the power of 4. So you are going to cancel x in the numerator and the denominator. So the only term that will have a value without x is the fifth term. You can say that the term in the middle of the answer. Number 5. The integration of 2 to 6, integral of 2 to 6 for x squared over x squared minus 1 minus integral of 2 to 6 of 1 over x squared minus 1 plus 2 to 6. We can notice that the all sign of the integral are definitely from 2 to 6. So I can write 1 integral from 2 to 6. And the first function is x squared over x squared minus 1. The second function is 1 over x squared minus 1. The third function is half. So it's integral from 2 to 6, 4. I have here same denominator, so I can add the numerator easily, which is x squared minus 1 plus half. And x squared minus 1 over x squared minus 1, it's the same. So it's from 2 to 6 for 1 plus half, which is integration from 2 to 6 to 1.5. As we know, the integration of 1.6 is 1.5x from 2 to 6. So I'm going to plug in x with 6 minus the value of x at 2. 1.5 times 6 is 9. 1.5 times 2 is 3. And 9 minus 3 is 6. Again, I have subtraction and I have addition. And the same limits of integration. So I put one integration outside and I start subtracting and adding the values. I have the same denominators, so I adding the numerators. X squared over x squared is give me 1. 1 plus half is 1.5. The integration of any number is 1.5x. I add x to the number. Then the limits from 6 to 2. What does it mean? It means I'm going to plug in 2 and plug in 6 and find the difference between them. Question number 6. If f of x is a continuous function on R, set of real numbers, and has a minimum value at x equal 3 and maximum value at x is equal -2. Which of the following is true? Of course, since I have a minimum and I have a maximum, it's not an even function. And I don't know what the minimum value is with what as a function and is what as a minimum. So I can't use A. One of the roots is between -2 and 3. What do you mean by one of the roots? If you have a maximum value at -2, it means that -2 is with a point like this. And if you have a minimum value at x is equal to 3, it could be here. So it's not necessary to intersect the x-axis, but it's necessary to know that the limit of x tends to -1 will give me -infinity. Why? Because it's clear for us that the function here is moving to the -infinity when the x is moving to tends to -infinity. Number 7, one of the roots of these functions. To figure out one of the roots of these functions and to find its value, I should make the function equal to 0. So I can say that x squared minus 6 is equal to 0. By moving -6 to the other side, so root of x squared minus 6 is equal to 6. What the number that its root is equal to 6? 36. So x squared minus 6 is equal to 36. So x squared is equal, after moving negative 6 to the other side, is equal to 42. Now, approximately the root of 42 between which two values? We know that 42 is 6 point something, 6.5, 6.6, 6.3, 6.3 or 6.5. Between which values? It's between 6 and 7. Between 6 and 7. Next one, number 8. If x is inversely proportional, and the meaning of inversely proportional that x1 over x2 is equal to y2 over y1. In case of directly proportional, you are going to write x1, x2, y1, y2. Now, x is equal 12 when y is equal 2. It means that x1 is 12 when y1 is 2. Then y2 is equal what? When x2 is equal to 6. x1, y1, so negative 12 divided by x2, which is 6, is equal y2, I don't know, over y1, which is 2. Now, simply, 6 divided by what to be 2? 6 divided by 3. So I need to divide up by 3. And negative 12, when I divide it by 3, it will give me negative 4. So the answer is B. Last one, another integral equations, integral question. Integration from 0 to a for 2x plus 1 is equal to 6. Then what is the value of a? Let's make the integration of 2x plus 1. The integration from 0 to a for 2x plus 1 is 2x squared over 2, because I'm adding to 1 here. 1, it will be 2, and divided by the new power, plus 1x. Any coefficient or any value, I give it x from 0 to a. So it's equal to x squared plus x from 0 to a. So I don't need to plug in 0. So I will need to plug in a. So a squared plus a is equal to 6. Now ask yourself, what of this number, when I square it and add to itself, give me 6? It's 2. Because 2 power 2 plus 2 is equal to 6. Question 10. In the given figure, as we can see, I have angle here 1, I have angle 70, and I have angle 100. We all know that these two angles are equal by vertically opposite angle. Vertically opposite angle. And this angle are supplementary. So this angle is 80. Why? Because 180 minus 100 is 80. 80 and 70 is 150. If you know that this exterior angle equal 150, you can start by choosing this. But if you wanted to add, subtract from 180 and then find the supplementary, it's okay. So let me clarify for you this exterior angle. If you have a triangle, the exterior angle of any triangle is equal the sum of two interior angles, non-adjacent to it. The exterior angle is equal the sum of two interior angle non-adjacent to it. Number 11, 2, 3, 3, and 5 plus 2, negative 1, 3, and 10 is equal to this matrix. So first, I need to add these two matrices. Let's multiply the second matrix by 2. So this one will be negative 2, 8, 6, and 20. When I added 2 and negative 2, it's 0. 3 and 8, 11. 3 and 6, 9. 5 and 2, 25. So 2x plus 1 should equal 11. So 2x is equal to 10. So x is equal to 5. And y minus 1 is equal to 9. So y is equal to 10. So what is the sum of x and y? The sum of x and y is 15. So the answer is B. Number 12, composite functions. Composite functions. F of x is equal x squared. G of x is equal root of x minus 3, and x is smaller than 3. I think x should be greater than 3. Why? Because any number below the root should be greater than 0. So it's a mistake. Please correct it. F g of x, it means that replacing the function g inside the function f. Replacing g in f. What is f of x? It's x squared, so I can write it like this. Inside this bracket, I will put root x minus 3, which is g. So it's x minus 3. After canceling the root with the power. After canceling the root with the power. So f g of x, you can write it in another method as f of root x minus 3. F of x root x minus 3. Now, number 13. G of x is a result of f of x equal absolute value of x after translation 3 units up and 4 units to the right. 3 units up, this is a change outside the function. So 3 units up. But 4 units right, it means inside x, x moved to the right, so it's x minus. So the answer is A. Again, moving up and down, we're changing outside the function. But moving right and left, we're changing inside the function. So if you are moving to the right, you put negative. If you are moving to the left, you put positive. Now, last one, a little difficult questions for the vectors is how to find the angle between two vectors. How to find the angle between two vectors. We know that the angle between two vectors is cosine. The angle is equal v dot u as a dot product. This is called dot product over absolute value of v multiply absolute value of u. Absolute value of v multiply absolute value of u. V dot u is 0 multiplied by root 3 plus 4 multiplied by 1, which is equal to 4. Absolute value of v is root 0 squared plus 4 squared multiply absolute value of u is root 3 squared plus 1 squared. So this one is 4 multiply 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 is 2. So it's 4 over 8, which is equal half. Now, what the angle that its cosine is equal to half? It's 60. 60. So the answer is 60. So the angle between these two vectors is 60. Question number 15. Question number 15. In the given figure, AB is parallel to CD, and I wanted to find the measure of the angle C. As we know, measure of angle CMD is equal 85 by vertically opposite angle. and this angle is 35, so this one is 35. So I can find the measure of angle C by applying the rule 180 minus 85 plus 35, and 85 plus 35 is 120, so the angle is 60. Something else, you can say that this angle is 85 and that angle is 35, so I can calculate this angle as 60, and these two angles are equal by alternate interior, so it's directly equal to 60. If f of x is equal 4x minus 1, and we wanted to find f of x minus 1, the meaning of f of x minus 1 here is to replace x in the equation with x minus 1. So 4 multiply x minus 1 square minus 8. So it's 4, and x minus 1 square is first square, second square, first by second by 2. First square, second square, and first by second by 2, minus 8. So it's 4x square minus 8x plus 4 minus 8, which is 4x squared minus 8x minus 4. So the answer is D. After adding the two like terms, plus 4 and minus 8. Number 16. An arithmetic sequences or series where A2 is 76, this is the second term, is 76, and the first term, a third term is 83. Then it's first term. This is arithmetic, and the meaning of arithmetic that you are adding or subtracting the same number every time. So if here is 76 and here is 83, from 76 to 83 I add 7. So it means that each time I am adding 7. So to go back, I'm going to subtract 7, and 76 minus 7 is 69. Cosine 135. It's clear for us that 135 in the second quadrant, and cosine in the second quadrant is negative. So I'm not going to choose A. And the reference angle for 135 is 145. Why? Because 180 minus 45 is equal 135. We all know that cosine 45 is equal root 2 over 2. But in the second quadrant, it should be negative. So the answer is negative root 2 over 2. Last one. Number 18. I have log with base 5, log with base 5, log with base 5. But before I start working, I should take these two as a power here, power of 2. So the sign here is plus, and if I'm going to write 1 log with base 5, it's going to change into multiplication. So it's x plus 1 multiplied by x over x plus 1 square, which is equal x multiply x plus 1, and x squared can be written as x plus 1 times x plus 1 by cancelling. So it's only 1 log for x over x plus 1. Again, to clarify for you, to clear for you this rule, you should be aware that log x power n is the same as n log x, and log x times y is the same as log of x multiply plus log of y. And log of x over y is the same as log x minus log y. So in case of log a plus log b minus log c, you can write it as log ab divided by c. So the answer of this question is D.